She introduced toys in bed. Then I found out where she really learned to use them. So, this is going to sound weird, but the beginning of the end started with one of the best nights of sex I've ever had with my wife. I've been married to Kendra for 10 years. She's 36, I'm 38. 2 kids, house in the burbs, golden retriever, the whole lifestyle package. We've been through the ups and downs like everyone else, but for a while, things just felt stale. Until about 2 months ago. We're in bed, usual Thursday routine, and out of nowhere, she pulls out a vibrator. Not the little bullet kind, either. A full-on dual-action, high-end toy that I swear looked like it had a gear shift and Bluetooth pairing mode. My jaw dropped. She grinned and said, "Let's try something different tonight." Reader, I will not lie, I was thrilled. She was suddenly louder, more vocal. She took control in a way she hadn't in years. Did things to me that made my brain short-circuit. At one point, I was like, damn, where'd that come from? And she just said, maybe I've been watching too much porn, and laughed it off. I didn't question it. I was just happy to have my sexy wife back. For the first time in ages, we actually talked after sex, cuddled, even joked around about adding more toys to the mix. She seemed alive again. I chalked it up to us finally reconnecting. Turns out, she'd just brought her cheating energy home. A week after our little bedroom renaissance, I was doing the laundry. Yes, I do chores, because apparently I'm that rare breed of husband who doesn't want his wife to do all the emotional labor. Go figure. Anyway, I was folding her jeans when a crumpled receipt fell out of the back pocket. From an upscale adult boutique downtown. I unfolded it without thinking. Figured it might be from our recent toy spree. But then I looked at the date. 6 months ago. 6. Damn. Months. Itemized list included 2 vibrators, one of which I hadn't seen. Handcuffs. A leather blindfold. Lube. Warming. Strawberry flavor. She hadn't mentioned a single one of those to me until last week. And now it was crystal clear, she'd had these toys for half a year, before we ever brought them into our bedroom. Something about that moment hit different. Like hearing your favorite song and realizing the lyrics are about cheating. I sat on the edge of the bed, receipt in hand, trying to logic my way out of it. Maybe she bought them, for us, and chickened out. Maybe she'd just been experimenting on her own. But the other vibrator, the one I hadn't seen, that stuck in my brain like a splinter. So did the strawberry lube. We never used flavored anything. She used to mock that stuff. Now I'm thinking, who's she trying to impress with gourmet sex products? That night, I didn't say anything. I watched her instead. Watched how easily she kissed me, laughed at my jokes, how comfortable she looked laying next to me in bed like she didn't have a damn secret vibrating in her nightstand. The thing is, I'm not the jealous type. I've never gone through her phone. Never played detective. But now. My gut was vibrating louder than the toy. And I couldn't ignore it anymore. All right. I held out as long as I could. I didn't want to be the guy who snoops. But when you're staring at a receipt for a toy that's never shown up in your marriage and your wife's suddenly a porn-level contortionist after years of missionary and, I'm tired, your gut starts to win the argument. So yeah. I checked her phone. She was in the shower. I had about 10 minutes. Enough to either ruin my life or prove I was just a paranoid idiot. Her lock screen was easy, birthday password. I didn't go through texts. I knew she'd delete anything there. I went to the photo gallery. At first, it looked normal. Random selfies. Dog pics. A group brunch shot from a few weeks back. Then I saw the hidden folder. She didn't even rename it. Just hidden. So I tapped it. Boom. There she was. My wife. Half naked in our bathroom. holding that same vibrator from the receipt, the one we never used together. One leg up on the counter, smirking like she was shooting a campaign for Hot Wife Monthly. I scrolled. Her in a mirror selfie, in lingerie I'd never seen before. Face angled, biting her lip. The background? Not our house. There was a picture of her straddling someone. You couldn't see his face, just his hand on her thigh, a wedding ring that definitely didn't belong to me, and a hotel headboard I'd never seen in my damn life. She even took a pic of the champagne bottle on the nightstand. Real subtle. I didn't even feel rage at first. Just cold. Just, nothing. Like someone had sucked all the heat out of the room and replaced my insides with concrete. She was in the shower humming like life was normal, while I stared at her side life, the one where she played porn star for someone else. I put the phone back before she got out, sat on the couch, and stared at the wall for a long time. She came out in a towel, kissed my cheek, and asked, "Wanna watch something?" "Oh yeah, Kendra. We're gonna watch everything." That night, I didn't sleep. I just kept replaying those photos in my mind. The way she posed, the angles, her expression, this wasn't some one-off thing. This was practiced. Routine. And whoever the mystery guy was, he wasn't new. Next morning, I decided to test her. Casual like. We were having breakfast, she was scrolling Instagram and eating Greek yogurt like she hadn't just lied her way through our marriage, and I asked. "So, about that trick with the toy the other night. Where'd you learn that?" She didn't even look up. Pinterest. I took a sip of my coffee. Pinterest, huh? Never seen that side of you before. Seemed like you'd practiced. She finally looked at me, smile still pasted on like a sticker. I mean, I've read things. Articles. I wanted to spice things up. Oh yeah. That blindfold trick too. She blinked. Just once. Yeah. It was in a Cosmo post. Now, I know Cosmo writes some wild sh*t. But I also know my wife has never read Cosmo in her life. She once called it sorority brain poison. So I leaned in a little. What about that strawberry lube? You always said that stuff was for amateurs. Her hand paused over the yogurt. Then she smiled again, thinner this time. Well. People change, right? Right. But not overnight. Not without someone showing them how. I stared at her for a long second. Thought about blurting it all out, slamming the receipt down, listing off everything I'd seen. But something held me back. I wanted to see how far she'd go. How long she'd keep lying to my face. I nodded. I liked it. All of it. Just wish we'd done that sooner. She kissed my cheek. We're just getting started, babe. I smiled back. But in my head, I was already planning how it would end. I don't know what's worse, finding out your wife's cheating, or realizing she's lazy enough to leave a paper trail like it's 1997. A few days after the breakfast lies, I was still deep in detective mode. Quiet. Cold. Patient. She thought we were reconnecting. She kept initiating sex, pulling out more toys, whispering things she'd never dared to say in 10 years of missionary Mondays. And every time, I was thinking, whose lines are these? Whose moves? Who taught you how to fake love this well? Anyway, the final piece of the puzzle came through our email inbox. We use a joint Gmail for bills and travel. Yeah. Real old school married couple stuff. I rarely check it, autopay exists for a reason, but I decided to take a peek. And there it was. A Hilton Honors confirmation. Reservation for a deluxe king room. Booked 3 weeks ago. Same day as one of her work networking happy hours. Under her name. Paid with our credit card. And the best part? The confirmation email had 2 guests listed. I stared at the screen like it was taunting me. There it was. Not even hidden. Just, sitting in plain sight. Like her betrayal wasn't even worth cleaning up after. I clicked through to her Hilton profile. Multiple stays. Same hotel. Same damn suite. Different dates. Every time she had a girls' night. Every time I stayed home with the kids thinking she was having a well-earned break. She wasn't sipping Chardonnay and talking about The Bachelor. She was getting railed by the mystery dude in a hotel we both used for our anniversary once. That stung more than anything. She took the place where we made memories, and used it as her personal brothel. At that point, I wasn't even sad anymore. I was furious. And more than that, I was done playing dumb. Yeah. You read that right. His cologne. I don't wear cologne. Never have. Just not my thing. But on Friday night, when she walked through the front door after another one of her networking mixers, I smelled it immediately, sharp, woodsy, way too bold to be just perfume. And I knew. That wasn't just a scent. It was a goddamn fingerprint. She breezed in like she was the star of some low-budget rom-com, heels clicking, clutch in hand, big fake smile plastered across her face like I didn't already have the full dossier on her double life. "Hey, babe," she said, all flirty and high-pitched. "Miss me?" I smiled. "Always." She leaned in to kiss me, and I turned my head slightly, letting her lips graze my cheek, just close enough to confirm it. Yup. It was his scent. And I was done pretending. So I said, "Sit down. We need to talk." Her smile didn't fade, not immediately. She probably thought I was about to open up some emotional monologue about connection and how much I love you. But then I dropped the folder on the table. Inside, the hotel reservation emails. Copies of the receipt from the toy store. Printouts of the hidden photos. A snapshot of her and mystery hand in the hotel room. Her face didn't go pale. Didn't crack. She just stared. Then looked up at me and said, "I kid you not, are you seriously spying on me now?" Spying. On her. Like I was some jealous freak who accidentally uncovered her entire secret sex tour because I'm controlling or insecure. I laughed. Out loud. "You call that spying? Babe, if I wanted to spy, I'd have followed you to the Hilton and recorded the live show." Her face finally shifted. Just slightly. Jaw tightening. Eyes calculating. Then she said the one line that almost made me lose it. "You weren't giving me what I needed." Ah. There it is. The golden excuse. The blame the man move. The tried and true, if you'd just been better, I wouldn't have had to ride someone else in a king-size bed on our joint credit card logic. I didn't yell. Didn't throw anything. I just stood up, leaned over, and whispered. "Pack your sh*T. You're done here." You ever see someone go from smug to scrambling in 5 seconds? That was Kendra. 1 minute she was defending her affair with some backhanded, "you're not enough," BS, and the next, she realized I wasn't bluffing. I wasn't going to argue, beg, or talk about therapy. I wasn't even angry anymore, just, done. And that scared her. She followed me into the hallway, still trying to claw back control. "Jake, don't do this. Let's talk. You're just emotional right now." Wrong move. I turned to her, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "No, Kendra. I was emotional 6 months ago, when you started f***ing someone else. Right now, I'm clear. I'm cold. And I'm ready." Her mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. Like a fish trying to argue its way out of a fryer. I handed her a manila envelope, divorce papers. Already signed on my end. Thank you, LegalZoom. Inside was also a list of the items I'd packed for her. 1 suitcase. All her toys. Her clothes. That stupid strawberry lube. And a printed page of every receipt she'd charged to our joint account during her affair, all totaled, with her share of the mortgage removed. She looked at me like I'd stabbed her. Wait. You're kicking me out. Now. Yup, I said. Your hotel guy liked you in a suite, right? Go get one. She tried the waterworks. Actual tears. Said she had nowhere to go, that she'd messed up, and that this was just a dark phase. I told her, your phase ends here. And here's the kicker. Revenge? It wasn't just throwing her out. It was sending him, Mr. Mystery Hand, the same envelope. Yep. Through a burner account, I sent his wife, yep, he's married too, every photo, every receipt, every detail, including dates that overlapped with their anniversary trip to Napa. How do I know that? Easy. Kendra posted about it on Instagram. #date night. I made sure she tagged the hotel. I made sure I found the timeline. I made sure I matched everything. And I made sure she burned. 2 days after I sent the receipts to Mr. Mystery Hand's wife, let's call her Melanie, my burner email got a response. Subject line. Thank you. Please call me. There was a number. California area code. I stared at it for a good 10 minutes. My heart was racing, not from fear, from anticipation. Was she pissed? Grateful? Did she already know and just needed confirmation? Or was I about to walk into an emotional nuke? I called. She answered on the second ring. Calm. Too calm. Jake. Yeah. This is Melanie. I got your email. I waited. Then she said something that hit harder than I expected. I always knew he was a cheater. I just didn't know he was that calculated. Turns out, she'd caught him once, 2 years ago. Some woman from his office. They worked through it, or so she thought. But he'd never stopped. Just got smarter. Burner phones. Hotel aliases. A private folder in the cloud she'd never seen until I pointed her right to it. He used your wife to cover for his other affairs, she told me. That landed like a punch. My wife wasn't even his main event. She was a decoy. One of several. And she had no clue. Melanie wasn't emotional. She was surgical. She said she'd already met with her lawyer. That she was going for full custody. That she had friends in both their companies and she planned to make sure Kendra's networking skills didn't go unnoticed. Then she said, I don't know you, but thank you. You just gave me my exit. And then, as casually as if she were talking about the weather, she added. Also, your wife has a tattoo on her hip, right? A crown. My stomach dropped. I hadn't seen her with her pants off in that way in years. And we never did much, lights-on, activity. But the last time she was bending over in that hotel mirror, yeah. There was a peek of something I'd never asked about. She told him it meant he was the king, Melanie said. She had the same thing tattooed when she was sleeping with her ex, too. Different guy, same line. I said nothing. There wasn't anything to say. Because I realized in that moment. I'd never actually known the woman I married. Court was a formality at that point. The paperwork was already filed, assets mostly split, and she knew damn well there was no coming back. Still, Kendra showed up looking like she was auditioning for the Real Housewives of Remorse. Tight black dress, heels just shy of inappropriate, mascara applied just right for a good cry. And yeah, she cried. But not for me. For herself. We sat in that courtroom, and I couldn't stop staring at her. Not because I missed her. Not because I loved her, but because I was watching a stranger, a professional victim, perform a breakdown like she deserved an award. She sniffled through her "I never meant to hurt anyone" speech. Told the judge she wanted amicable resolution. Told me, in the hallway afterward, I just didn't know how unhappy I was. That one got me. Unhappy? You had a husband who cooked, cleaned, made the damn kids' lunches, and still tried to make you feel sexy when you rolled into bed wearing flannel pajamas and resentment. And you were unhappy? Nah. You were ungrateful. I didn't say much in response. Just signed the final document, handed it to my lawyer, and looked her in the eye one last time. You cheated with a man who didn't even put your name in his phone, I said. Her mouth opened, ready to spin, to twist, to play sad again, and I walked away. Didn't wait for her reply. Didn't need it. Because for the first time in over a decade, I didn't owe her a damn thing. The day the divorce was finalized, she officially moved the last of her stuff out. No dramatic send-off. No goodbye. Just her friend's SUV parked in the driveway and a few boxes tossed into the trunk. I watched from the upstairs window, sipping coffee like I was watching trash day happen a few hours late. When she drove off, I expected to feel hollow. But you know what? I felt light. The house was quiet. Like actually quiet, not that tense, walking on eggshells silence I'd grown used to, where every drawer slammed just a little too loud and every sigh meant a fight was coming. This was peace. That night I made a real dinner. Steak. Roasted potatoes. Poured a glass of bourbon. Ate at the dining table like king adult, not a hostage eating microwaved leftovers while someone scrolled Instagram across from me. I played music I liked. Didn't have to turn it down. Didn't have to argue over what show to watch. I took the dogs on a walk through the neighborhood without checking my phone every 5 minutes. And when I came home, I lit a candle. Not strawberry. Just clean linen. Fresh. Simple. Mine. It was the first night I slept without tossing and turning in months. No nightmares. No waking up in a cold sweat wondering where she was or who she was texting under the covers. I woke up and didn't feel broken. I felt free. The irony? I used to be afraid of being alone. But after all the secrets, the gaslighting, the weaponized sex and fake apologies, alone felt like a damn upgrade. About 2 weeks after the final papers were signed, I got a message on Facebook. From someone I hadn't heard from in years. Jules. Back in college, she was the one that got away, the friend who could have been more, but timing always sucked. We dated briefly, but life took us in different directions. No hard feelings, no ghosting, just that kind of quiet fading that happens when you're young and stupid. She wrote. Hey. I just heard about everything. I know it's probably not my place, but I just wanted to say, you didn't deserve that. And I hope you're okay. I stared at it for a full 5 minutes before I responded. Not because I was emotional, but because it felt like the first genuine message I'd received in months that wasn't pity, judgment, or fake sympathy wrapped in gossip. So I replied. We caught up. Nothing flirty, nothing weird. Just honest conversation. She told me about her move across the state, the job she loved, her rescue cat with one eye and a Napoleon complex. I told her about the house, the divorce, the way betrayal reprograms your nervous system. And she listened. Really listened. No, well, relationships are hard, BS. No, maybe she was just confused, garbage. Just quiet understanding from someone who knew me before all the masks, before the marriage turned me into someone I didn't recognize. That conversation turned into another. Then another. No expectations. No fantasy rebounds. Just the rediscovery of what it's like to be seen by someone who wants to see you. And that, Reddit, was the beginning of healing I didn't know I needed. Not romantic rescue. Not rebound validation. Just connection. Clean. Honest. Uncomplicated. I wrote it one night after a long walk. No music. No dogs. Just me, the moon, and the sound of sneakers on pavement. I came home, poured a glass of bourbon, sat at the kitchen table, and let it all spill out. I didn't write it to give it to her. Hell no. She didn't deserve a damn syllable of it. I wrote it for me. Kendra. You lied. Repeatedly. Smoothly. While kissing me, while making dinner, while holding my hand and saying you loved me. You cheated with a man who didn't respect you enough to remember your birthday. Who probably called you, babe, because he forgot your name. And still, I tried to understand. I asked you to explain. I gave you the chance to own it, to apologize, to be human. You chose to double down. That's when I realized, this wasn't about sex. This was about control. About ego. About taking something from someone who built his life around you, just to see if you could. Congratulations. You broke it. But here's what you didn't expect, I rebuilt it. Without you. Without begging. Without pretending your half-assed remorse was redemption. I don't hate you. You're not worth hating. I just don't believe in you anymore. And that, more than anything, is your punishment. Enjoy your freedom. I'm enjoying mine. Jake asterisk. I folded the letter, slid it into an envelope, and tucked it in the back of my old desk drawer. Didn't burn it. Didn't reread it. Just let it exist, like a tombstone for the version of me that let her walk all over him. Because he needed closure. Not her. Jules texted me on a Thursday. Hey, I'll be in town this weekend. Want to grab coffee and catch up? No pressure. No pressure. That's how she always was, warm, steady, zero drama. I said yes before I could overthink it. We met at this little indie cafe downtown, the kind with mismatched mugs and chalkboard menus. She walked in wearing a hoodie and jeans, hair in a messy bun, no filters, no angles. Just real. When she saw me, she smiled. Big. Like the kind of smile you can't fake. We hugged, and I swear, something in me clicked back into place. The conversation was easy, almost dangerously easy. We joked about college, swapped bad dating stories, even talked about my divorce, which she handled like a pro. No awkward questions. Just, you've been through hell. But you're not bitter. That's rare. That hit me hard. Because for a while, I was bitter. I just didn't want to live there forever. We walked through the park after coffee. I remember it clearly, cool breeze, golden leaves, her arm brushing against mine as we wandered without any real direction. At one point she said, "You're different. Not broken. Just, realer." I didn't say anything. Just looked at her and smiled. Because I realized something right then. I liked who I was around her. Not because she was some savior, or rebound, or perfect fantasy. But because she knew me before the betrayal, and somehow still liked the version of me that came out the other side. We didn't kiss. We didn't rush anything. Just sat on a park bench, sipping coffee, laughing about life and loss and how people change when you least expect it. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about Kendra. I wasn't thinking about revenge. I was just, there. Present. Whole. Alive. I knew it was coming. Cheaters always circle back, not because they miss you, but because they hate the idea that you moved on without them. It happened on a random Tuesday afternoon. I was at the gym, mid-rep, when my phone buzzed. Kendra. First time I'd seen her name light up my screen in months. One missed call. Then a text. "Hey, can we talk?" I've been thinking a lot. I miss you. I'm sorry for everything. No context. No accountability. Just a fishing line cast into the dark, hoping I'd bite. I didn't. She tried again the next day. I know I hurt you. But I feel like we had something real. I've changed. I almost laughed. Changed? She'd barely finished unpacking from the last guy's hotel room. Then came the guilt bait. I still have some of your stuff. Thought maybe you'd want to come get it. Or talk. I miss your voice. That one made me pause. Because yeah, we had years of memories. A house. A dog. A whole chapter of my life tied up with hers. But then I remembered the hotel confirmations. The toys. The cologne. Her calling me incomplete while she was on her knees for a man who couldn't even spell monogamy. So I did the only thing that felt right. I blocked her. No response. No final message. No dramatic monologue. Just silence. Not out of spite, out of peace. She didn't deserve a comeback arc. She didn't get to rewrite the ending. I already wrote it. And she wasn't in the last chapter. So this is it. The last part of the story I never thought I'd have to tell, and honestly, the one I'm proudest to finish. What I lost. A woman who wore lies like lingerie. A marriage built more on image than intimacy. 10 years of blind loyalty to someone who wouldn't cross the street to earn it. But what I gained? Everything. Clarity. Strength. Peace. A version of myself I hadn't seen in a decade, a man who doesn't tolerate disrespect, who values honesty, who knows his own damn worth. I learned that betrayal doesn't make you weak. Trusting the wrong person doesn't mean you're a fool, it means you loved with a full heart. And surviving it? That makes you F***king bulletproof. I learned not to romanticize history. Just because someone was part of your story doesn't mean they belong in the next chapter. And maybe the biggest thing? I stopped asking why she did it. Because it doesn't matter. What matters is I didn't. I stayed loyal. I stayed real. I didn't become like her. And now I'm living a life that feels like mine again, clean, quiet, honest. With people who care. With a future that doesn't feel like it's built on eggshells and second-guessing. Jules. She's still around. No labels, no pressure. Just two people who genuinely like each other. Who show up. Who laugh until our faces hurt and never make each other feel small. It's early. But it's good. If you're out there, reading this with your own suspicions, your own pain, your own quiet misery. Here's what I'll leave you with. You are not crazy. You are not too much. You are not weak. You are waking up. And when you finally walk out of the fire, you won't just survive. You'll shine. Stay strong, Reddit. Jake. I have many other stories, go to my channel, subscribe so you don't lose us. Give me a thumbs up.